really now getting into the danger zone with this guy who it can't put a sentence together. How he's going to run for president again, I have no earthly idea. Cut one, Tucker on Biden.
And that was not an accident. It was done. It was changed to help Joe Biden win. Biden says he's strongly considering running again. Biden's wife, of course, says she very much hopes he will run. And most tellingly of all, no mainstream Democrat has announced a run against him. So as of tonight, Joe Biden is in the race for the Democratic nomination, and as of tonight, he will get the nomination. And that's just amazing if you think about it. Joe Biden would be 82 years old on Inauguration Day. That is 8 years older than the average life expectancy for men in this country. So virtually everyone in his high school class will be gone by then, but Joe Biden will be just beginning his second term as president of the United States. Would that be healthy for America? Would it be healthy for Joe Biden? Of course not. It's awful. 82-year-old men should not be running countries. They're not strong enough mentally or physically. Everybody knows that, very much including any 82-year-old man you ask. The people around Joe Biden certainly know that. How could they not know that? They watch him, and you do too. Here's Joe Biden in Warsaw, Poland, just last week.
The questions we faced were as simple as they were profound. Would we respond, or would we look the other way? Would we be strong, or would we be weak? Would all of our allies, would be united or divided?
So we play clips like that a million times for you over the past few years. We could play a million more because Joe Biden talks like that every day. At this point, it's how he talks. Joe Biden is losing his ability to speak. That's not a secret. It's not something we learned from our confidential sources and are bringing to you for the first time tonight exclusively. That is obvious to the entire world. And you'll probably sound like that, too, if you make it to Joe Biden's age. We will also. It's not weird. It's natural. It's not an attack on Joe Biden, hardly. It's an observation. But because it's natural, we have been commanded to ignore it.
By the fake news. Now let's judge for ourselves. Let's get to cut 5 here. Here's Joe Biden getting very frustrated as he's trying to read the teleprompter. Cut 5.
You say, well, how can that be, Joe? Well, right now the government, our tax dollars pay out through Medicare the help for the prescription drugs. If they have to pay out $159 billion less for prescription drugs, then it reduces the deficit. So, folks, it's a win-win.
What do you say? No one knows. All right, here's cut 6. Let's get to Creepy Joe. Here's Creepy Joe telling about a nurse he had that did things they didn't learn in nursing school. This is really creepy. Cut 6.
And Pearl Nelson, military. She'd come in and do things that I don't think you learn in medical school, nursing school. She'd whisper in my ear. I couldn't understand her. She'd whisper, she'd lean down. She'd actually breathe on me to make sure that there was a connection, a human connection. She even went home and brought back her pillow.
She was breathing on him. This is, you want to know why this country's hanging by a thread? With this cockroach up there, this communist, dementia-ridden cat turd that can't string a sentence together, talking to you about some RN breathing on him and how she didn't learn that in nursing school and did other things. I mean, you got to be kidding me, folks. This is such a sad state of affairs. Let's get to cut 7. Here's Biden now falsely claiming that he reduced the debt by $1.7 billion.
Congress, those in Congress who threaten to undo the gains, they want to do away with the Affordable Care Act. Some threaten to default on the national debt unless I accept certain economic plans. Now let me explain the national debt you all know. We think we all know it. It's the accumulated debt over 200 years. Every year it's accumulated over 200 years. The federal government has never, ever once reneged on that debt. We've never questioned our credit. And guess what? Let's remember, the last administration increased the federal debt by 25%. The 200-year debt, in 4 years, they increased it by 25%. 200 years. And folks, how did Congress respond? Well, quite frankly, they did the only responsible thing. They paid the debt. They voted 3 times to keep paying America's bills, to pay the debt without preconditions, without a crisis. If they paid the American debt then, why in God's name are they threatening not to pay it now? So folks, it's not all the other team. I'm not saying everybody on the other team says that. But it's just politics. And they've got no business playing politics with the lives of the American people and our nation's economy. Folks, and by the way, you know, you hear ads of the big spending Joe Biden. In 2 years, I reduced the debt $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion. The largest deficit reduction in American history. And I met with the new House Speaker, who's not a bad guy, about how we should proceed to settle our differences without jeopardizing the full faith and credit of the United States of America, which would be a disaster in terms of our economy. Here's what he said.
All right. Look, folks, we're going to get this now with the mainstream fake news media and Fox News. You're going to get this over and over and over. They just continue to lie to you, right? The debt has gone up dramatically. The CBO estimates in the next decade, because of Biden, it's going to go to $55 trillion, another $20 trillion over the 35 it is now. It's going to be in the mid-50s of $1 trillion of debt. This is unsustainable. But they're going to continue to lie to you until they can get the country to collapse, and then you get the communists take over that thereafter.